I had about your initial initiative drive. How long is your average drive, and what are your best tactics for one? Okay, so this is what I was referring to when you wanna either proactively create like a positive pattern of perception for yourself, or you're trying to fix. This is like the pips, right? Like when you get put into a pip and you don't want to necessarily lose the job that you have. If you don't care about it because you have like whatever 3 jobs, or like you have another job on the way, then maybe don't care so much about the PIP. But when you're put in a PIP and maybe it's your only job, or maybe you want to try to salvage it for whatever reason, you have the initiative drive. Then how long is the average drive? It usually takes about a month of you being like pristine, like the best in your best behavior for around like a month. It could take as long as 3 months for you have to consider like a trial period, like a new trial period. So it could be from like 1 month to 3 months, where you have to be like on your best behavior. That usually reverts within that window of time. That usually reverts the negative impression, or it creates a consistent positive impression. If you're creating it, it's usually going to be a month. If you're trying to fix a negative pattern that you created, a negative pattern of impression that you created, it's usually going to take more than a month, between a month and 3. And Jonathan says, thanks, man. Hopefully I can survive the PIP since I go on leave and they pay 100% of salary for paternal leave. Hopefully they don't let me go before. They're probably, I'm telling you now, they're probably going to let you go before. I don't want to I don't want to scare you or anything, but that's probably going to happen. If it doesn't happen, congratulations, man. Like really, like I'm going to be very happy for you. But yeah, that's the real deal. Like they're probably going to let you go. They're not going to, if you're on a PIP, oh wait, I mean, are you in the United States? Because if you're not in the United States, then maybe. In the United States, it's at will employment. Like they're just gonna let you go before the leave. Yeah, you're in the U.S. You're in danger. I'm not gonna lie, you're in danger. Employers are shameless. Like they fire people a week before they're vested in their stocks. They fire people before they can take leave. They fire women because they get pregnant, which is, understandable in a sense, but also crappy, right? It's like, why did you hire her in the first place? Right? Like if you're going to treat her like that once she's pregnant, it doesn't matter that you had leave approved before the PIP. It doesn't matter. They're not gonna fire you when you ask for the leave. Again, like I tell you, maybe this is 90% getting fired, 10% not. And maybe you're lucky and you're going to be in that 10% where nothing's going to happen. ABA, you got this. Yeah. Just prepare. Yeah, cross your fingers. Just prepare for the fact that you may get fired. Like if the day comes and you go on leave, or maybe they fire you after you go on leave. They just tell you like, don't come back to the office. I have clients in Australia where in Australia I would tell you you're probably safe. They take the leave stuff like that's kind of more sacred there. And like I have a client that he leveraged like 6 months of paternity leave, and then he came back and he quit. And he was already like in a PIP, but that was in Australia. In the United States, like employers are a lot more powerful in the United States. Which one day, maybe I'll just get to this. Whatever. Like we are a little bit over the time, but what makes U.S. employers particularly shameless, even though salaries are higher and blah blah blah. But what makes it shameless is that at-will employment, the logic behind at-will employment is that because you make it basically frictionless, like you make it almost free, close to free to fire somebody, right? Like that's the point of at-will employment, which is the real one. It doesn't matter what they say it's about. The real point is that, we're going to let employers be able to just fire very quickly with almost zero cost, because that would incentivize, that would make hiring faster. So the idea is like fire faster, hire faster, right? Like that's the idea, right? Because since you are not going to incur, you're not going to incur into like high costs if you hire somebody and it turns out that they're not a good fit, right? Like, and then because there's countries where their labor laws are very protective of employees. like Argentina before the current president. I always forget how to pronounce his name, but before his current president, like you had very strong labor laws, but then you would have things happening like somebody would get hired, they would work for like a month, and then they couldn't get fired, and then without cause or whatever, like they couldn't get fired, so like they wouldn't show up to work for years, right, or months, and they couldn't get fired, right, and so that's costing the employer money. They're not going to work, they can't get fired. So in that case, right, like in cases like those, you want to really vet the people that the persons that you're going to be hiring, right, like the people that you're going to be hiring. You want to make it really, you want to make the process of hiring somebody be full of friction, be really friction, or have a lot of friction, so that you are getting the right person. Because if you don't get the right person, it's going to it's going to cost you a lot of money to get rid of them, right? So you don't want to run experiments. But the logic of at-will employment in the United States is the opposite. It's like, hey, we're going to make it basically frictionless for you to get rid of somebody, precisely so that you can hire more easily. You can run experiments. Somebody doesn't work out, you can just let them go. It didn't cost you that much money. Like you're never going to be in that scenario where you have somebody that's not showing up to work for 6 months, but you still have to pay them. But that's not what happened. Employers, again, because they have, and this is not just employers, like institutions, people will press their advantages. Employers took all the upside of at-will employment and then got rid of the downside. They still have a super annoying, full of friction process for hiring. They're super risk averse when they're hiring. They don't give you a chance. It's incredible. Like, you guys know you know this as well as anybody. 5 rounds of interviews, background checks. Like, the process of hiring somebody is incredibly time consuming and annoying, when it shouldn't be the case. Like, it should be that they should be able to just like fire you because they like your smile. I'm sorry, hired you because they like your smile, and then you came in and it doesn't work out. After like a couple of weeks, you get fired. That's it. Like, you have no protections, because then you get fired and then you could just get hired again by another company. That's not happening. Like, that's not what's happening. Like, and that's the problem with full-time. That's the problem with full-time employment right now. And giving, like, if job stacking was out in the open, at-will employment, and actually like hiring and firing, quickly, would be great. We would have like that dynamic market that wasn't, that was intended to happen. That was that was envisioned by the people, deregulating labor laws or with employers, right? But you see, like, employers just take the upside. They can still fire you for whatever reason at whatever point. But they don't make it easy to hire. So it's like we have the situation that we have right now. We have despair, and we have like just people tearing their hair out. It's not good. It's not working out for anybody. It's not working out for them, and it's not working out for us. And Jonathan says, this is why I went to JobStack. I messed up and messaged you on Twitter after I got fired from J2 in a week. Oh, that's you. Okay. Yeah, Jonathan, here's an example of what I talked about what you shouldn't do. And you also, I should probably next week. Let's do something, Jonathan. You've inspired me. The talk, not next week, because it's like the next job stacking tips and strategies call, which I think it's in 1 month. It will be about how to create believable human patterns when your employer is tracking your activity. Like, they have something like Hubstaff, or like they're taking pictures of your, like, screenshots of your desktop. Jonathan here, I don't want to put you in the spot, but Jonathan here just kind of like winged it. He didn't create a believable pattern. They caught him immediately, and he lost his job too, his second job. That's what he's talking about there in the chat. If he had come to me sooner, I would have explained, like, I would have coached him on how to create a believable pattern. All right, but it doesn't matter, Jonathan. You're here now. It's better late than never. There's plenty of fish out in the sea. You're gonna get another job. Like, you already demonstrated. So if you already got 2 jobs, you can get 2 jobs again, right? Like, don't worry about it. Right? So don't look back. It's something that happened. Let bygones be bygones, and yeah. So you've given me an idea. Like, my next talk for job stacking strategies and tips, it's going to be how to properly fool employment tracking software. I didn't know if you saw, but there's like this Stanford on Twitter. There's this Stanford academic researcher, and he was researching Git activity. And this is for people in tech, right? Like if you don't know what Git is, it's like a place where coders upload their code, right? Like you work on code on a file, you upload it there. Like it helps you keep track of changes, and it helps collaborate, right? So you saw it, JC, that thread. So anyway, he said that the goal, the aim of his research wasn't to find people working multiple jobs. It was more about productivity. But he found them. Like he realized that there were people in his research. He caught people that were working for multiple organizations, and this is something that's so easy to prevent, right? Like I always say, my students never get caught. Like if you follow my advice, you never get caught. If you are just out there trying to wing job stacking, like you're just trying to, I already made the thinking for you. I already made the mistakes for you. If you're like out there trying to like figure, invent the wheel again, then you're gonna have things like this happen. Why was this Stanford researcher able to catch unwittingly catch people working multiple jobs? Because the very smart guys that were working those multiple jobs, they were using probably their personal GitHub account, their personal Git account, to work for multiple organizations. But what is it that I tell you guys? What is it that I tell my students all the time about how to not get caught? Separation. You keep everything separate. So you would never, not only would you have separate computers, one for each job, you would never use the same accounts for anything. Like you would not use your personal anything for anything related to a job, right? Much less across jobs, right? So if these guys had seen my Twitter account, like heard my content, bought my, read my book, taken the course, they would have known that all they had to do was create new Git accounts with their employment email, and they would have never been caught. Like it's basically impossible.